Do you want your truck to deteriorate twice as fast as it should? You want to spend thousands of extra dollars on tires when you don't have to? How about breaking down on the trail when you know it could have been prevented? Well, today I'm going to show you the 3 steps that I take to properly maintain my truck after the harsh winter that, if followed, will save you thousands of dollars. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the winter tires off my wife's Bronco. We have Nokian studded tires for the winter. As soon as it's consistently above 7 degrees Celsius or 44 Fahrenheit, that's a good time to know that you want to get rid of your winter tires and put your summers on, because of the softer rubber compound. At those temperatures, you're just going to wear down your winter tires a lot faster. So that's usually what I do. But you got to check your state or province if you have studded tires, because I know there's dates that you also got to look out for those where you're not allowed to drive on the roads with them. Okay, so since I do have 5 summer tires, when I put my winter tires on, I do like a 4 tire rotation with them. But when I put my summers back on, I do a 5 tire rotation, and I always do the same thing. When I take the tires off, I'll write down on a piece of chalk where they were when I took them off. That way I know where to put them next. So basically, my spare is going to go on my rear right, then rear right is going to go front right, my front right's going to go rear left, and my rear left is going to go front left. And then the front left will come back on the spare, and then we'll be done. And since these tires are heavy, I'll show you a little trick that I do to put the spare up. I always just put the jack up with a piece of wood. And then there you go, easy peasy. I'm not putting these tight. I'm just putting them on loose, and then I'm going to torque them after, of course. There. So you can buy a tire chalk or just use regular white chalk, as long as your tires are not going to be sitting in the rain and it won't wash off. And then you just mark where each tire was taken off. That way when you go to put them on in the fall, you'll know where they should go in the rotation. Alright, so to put it up, same thing with the jack. Make sure you have your nuts ready to go, because you can't really walk away from it once you start lifting it. And also make sure you kind of have the tire close to where you're going to need it for the holes to line up, because like I said, you can't really walk away, but this is a lot easier for me anyway. Now go easy on these, they don't get torqued the same as the other wheels. There we go. Now I'm going to torque everything down to 100 foot-pounds using a star pattern. Once I get everything to click, I always go one more time around. There. I'm going to double check this torque in about 50 kilometers or 30 miles. And if something moves, I'll just keep doing it until I get a time that nothing moves again. And if your truck has a tire carrier, just make sure you're not torquing the tire carrier bolts the same, because they're not mounted to a hub. Usually I just tighten these up, and then when I re-torque everything else, I'll just check them, make sure they're tight. Good enough. The next step after I change out the winter tires, I'm going to drive it up on my ramps here that I built, and I'm going to pressure wash the underneath to get all the salt from the road out. That's probably the biggest thing that is going to wreck your truck over time. Anything mechanical can be changed. When everything starts to rust, your vehicle's dead. So to keep it alive, rinse it off and just give it a good bath. Once you have it all cleaned up, what you're going to want to do is go around with a can of fluid film and kind of spray spots that your undercoating would have came off during the winter, or just, you know, little rusty spots that you can find. Just a quick touch up, because later in the fall is when you're going to be doing your full undercoat to prep for the winter. So I'm just going to go around, touch up a few spots, and also if you have any greasable points like aftermarket control arms, now's the time to grease them. You want to make sure you grease those every 2 to 3 months. Aftermarket ball joints don't tend to last very long if you let them go dry. So I'm going to do that right now. I have the Rough Country upper control arm, so I took the cap off here. I don't know if you can see the boot down here. It's not too bad. You want that to be a little tight with grease so you know it's not dry. I just did these not too long ago, but I want to make sure that they don't go empty. So a couple shots of grease, cap back on, and now I know I'm good to go. Now my wife's Bronco is ready for the summer. I got all that nasty salt off. Something that really helps when I'm doing stuff like this is the wooden ramps that I used to drive up onto. If you want to know how I made these, make sure you watch this video next.